Hey, imagine for a second that you're living in ancient Rome. You're a decorated soldier, a father, and a husband. But you also have a male lover on the side. And here's the kicker: absolutely nobody cares. In Rome, the question wasn't about who you were sleeping with. It was about where you stood in the hierarchy of power. As long as you were the dominant one, your manliness was never in question. But if you fast forward 2,000 years to the United States in 1952, that same life would have gotten you fired, blacklisted, and labeled as a psychiatric deviant during the Lavender Scare. How did we get here? How did something that was totally normal for centuries suddenly become a reason to lose your freedom? Today, we're peeling back the layers of history to see how the labels we use have changed, even if human nature hasn't. Let's dive deeper into that Roman mindset. To a Roman citizen, sexuality wasn't an identity, it was a performance of status. A free-born Roman man was expected to be the actor, never the acted upon. If you took the passive role, you were seen as giving up your power as a citizen. It was less about gay or straight, and more about ruler or ruled. This same fluid approach existed in ancient Greece too, but with a different flavor. Around 600 BC, they had an institution called pederasty. It wasn't just about romance, it was a mentorship system for philosophy and military training. Even Plato, one of the greatest minds in history, argued that love between men was the highest form of affection because it was rooted in the pursuit of virtue rather than just procreation. And if you think these relationships were just for philosophers, look at the Sacred Band of Thebes. This was an elite fighting force made up of 150 pairs of male lovers. Why? Because the Greeks believed a soldier would fight 10 times harder if the person standing next to him was someone he truly loved. They were literally undefeated for 30 years until they met Philip of Macedon. Now, let's travel east to feudal Japan between the 11th and 17th centuries. The samurai followed a tradition called wakashudo. This was a beautiful, structured bond between a senior warrior and his protege. It wasn't some hidden secret. It was a respected path of the warrior. But there was a catch in both Greece and Japan. These roles were often phases of life. Once you reached adulthood, you were still expected to marry a woman and continue your family line. It wasn't a label you were forever, it was part of your social responsibility. So, when did the vibe shift? The turning point really hit during the Middle Ages in Europe. As the church gained massive political power, they started categorizing same-sex acts as sodomy, a sin they ranked right up there with the worst crimes imaginable. The punishments were brutal, often involving execution. Yet, history shows us that people didn't just stop being who they were. Historians like John Boswell discovered records of adelphopoiesis, ancient church rituals that essentially brother bonded two men in a way that looked suspiciously like a union. Even under the threat of death, the human need for connection persisted, hidden behind monastery walls and coded language. Then came the 19th century, and this is where things got really messy. A guy named Carl Maria Kurtbany coined the term homosexual. On one hand, this gave people a word to describe themselves and helped build a community. But on the other hand, it gave the state a way to track, categorize, and persecute them. Look at Oscar Wilde in 1895. He was the most famous playwright in London, but he was destroyed by a legal system that now saw his private life as a public crime. The label didn't just define him, it became a target on his back. By the time the 20th century rolled around, this medicalized stigma reached its darkest point. The Nazi regime used pink triangles to mark gay men in concentration camps, viewing them as a threat to racial purity. Even after the war ended, the persecution didn't stop. In the US, we had the Lavender Scare. The government was terrified that gay employees were security risks who could be blackmailed by Soviet spies. thousands of people lost their jobs for no reason other than who they loved. But pressure creates diamonds, right? In 1969, the breaking point finally came at the Stonewall Inn. When the police raided that bar, the patrons didn't run away this time. They fought back. That spark ignited the modern pride movement. It shifted the narrative from shame to visibility. Suddenly, being out wasn't just a personal choice. It was a political act of survival. In the 1980s, the community faced its greatest challenge yet, the AIDS crisis. Because of the existing stigma, governments initially ignored the dying. It was devastating, but it also birthed radical activism like AIDUP. They didn't just ask for help, they demanded it. They occupied offices, blocked traffic, and forced the medical world to find treatments. This era proved that the fight wasn't just about labels or marriage. It was about the fundamental right to stay alive and be treated with basic human dignity. It transformed a marginalized group into a powerful, organized force that could no longer be ignored by the mainstream. Fast forward to 2024. The world is a patchwork of progress and pain. We have 35 countries where same-sex marriage is the law of the land, which is incredible progress compared to where we were. But at the same time, 64 countries still treat it as a crime. The history we've walked through today proves one thing: humans haven't changed. We've always been here, in every culture and every century, from the Roman legions to the Silicon Valley offices. What changes are the labels society places on us. Those labels decide if you get to live your truth in the light or if you have to hide in the shadows. But as history shows, the truth always has a way of coming out. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you found this journey through time interesting, hit that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.